Sustained weight loss goes far beyond just diet and exercise, and it's really time that we change that narrative. Because if we're only focusing on our nutrition and our workouts, we are going to initially get results. You're going to look better, but maybe you're not really going to be feeling any better, nor is it really going to help you keep the weight off long term. And this is really good news, because if diet and exercise aren't working for you, it doesn't mean that you're broken or something's wrong with you or you're like a lost cause. There is an answer. And the answer lies in what I've recently heard called the metabolic ecosystem. So I was recently listening to a training by registered dietitian Megan Kobler, and she explains what I initially called pillars of health as more of an ecosystem. And that really explains it more perfectly, because truly they aren't pillars. They aren't independent variables. They are all interconnected. They are dependent on each other. So calling it a fat loss ecosystem or a health ecosystem or a metabolic ecosystem makes more sense, because they truly all work together and rely on each other. So what is in the ecosystem? How we exercise, how we move our body in a day, the quality of sleep or rest that we get, the amount of stress we have and how we deal with that stress, our gut health, and are you getting enough water intake? Are you being hydrated? All of this is very interconnected. Now, don't think of that as a checklist. I don't want you to go, I'm fasting, check. I'm working out, check. I'm hitting my macros, check. Carb cycling, check. Getting in my 30-minute walk a day, check. Making sure I'm getting enough water, check. That is helpful to kind of make sure you're doing the things, but more often than not, a checklist like that's a reminder of the things you didn't check off. And that often leaves you feeling like a failure, and that's not what I want. So if one of these systems, one of these 7 things is not working correctly, it's going to have a domino effect into the other parts of the ecosystem. But there's good news. The flip side of that, if one of these pillars is rocking it, if one of these areas is just, you are getting great quality rest, even though you're stressed at work, you're getting amazing rest at night, that is also going to bleed into the other areas as well. So don't think of all of these things as things that I have to do in the day. Instead, think of it as freeing, because it means that there are more opportunities to take care of your body and your health outside of just diet and exercise. And this mindset, guys, is really helpful for 2 reasons. One, it offers flexibility, because you're going to go through periods of your life where you can't work out because of an injury, or you're not getting quality rest because you have a newborn at home and they don't sleep. Or maybe you can't hit your macros because you're at a work conference and all the meals are provided for you. That's okay, because I'm going to teach you, I'm going to equip you and empower you with the tools you need to double down on another area of the ecosystem. When maybe home cooked meals every night are not an option for you, or maybe you're on vacation with no gym access, there are other areas that you can lean into. So if one aspect is lacking, lean into another area. Look for other parts of the ecosystem where you can take care of yourself. The second reason this is helpful is it helps you problem solve why you're not seeing results. So if you're killing it with your nutrition, rocking those macros, you're exercising consistently and lifting heavy weights, but you're not seeing results, how's the rest of the ecosystem? Are you sleeping? Is your stress level high? Do you have food sensitivities and maybe your gut health is out of whack? So you've heard me say it time and time again. There's that 80-20 rule, or maybe progress, not perfection. I care far more about the direction you're going than how quickly you're getting there. You don't have to be perfect to see progress. Imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. So by thinking of these 7 things as more of an ecosystem, that's really going to help you switch that mindset into that kind of thinking, that progress over perfection kind of thinking, or that 80-20 rule kind of thinking. The nutrition, workouts, daily movement, sleep, stress, gut health, and hydration. Don't think of it as a checklist. Think of those things as an ecosystem. What areas can you double down on when other areas are lacking? This is not all of this or nothing. What can you do to make yourself a better version of yourself today? So each and every month, I host what's called the 6-week new client group, where we go over these areas, these pillars in great detail. We talk about the ecosystem, and I coach you through practical applications of each one of these areas and how you can use these strategies to better your health and your wellness. If you want to learn more, you can visit my website, which is annamariepeeler.com, and it's also linked in the comments below.